Again, all people, my name is Markus Hoyte. I'm a BMX rider from Brooklyn, New York City. I've been riding BMX for over 10 to 15 years now. So the earliest memory for me riding a bicycle, I was like 8 years old. You know, there's always a bicycle in my household or in my neighborhood. I was always on a bicycle. But freestyle BMX particularly, there was like this one dude in my neighborhood, I call him Double D. He would ride back and forth up and down my block. I think he was like on a red Harrow with a double top tube, and like they had this bank in my neighborhood. He like would always do tricks on it. He would be doing things that at that time you shouldn't be doing on a bicycle. And I said to myself, that stuff looks cool and I want to do that. And then like I started to try the things on my bicycle that I saw him doing. That's how I got into like freestyle BMX in a way. So the thing that made me fall in love with freestyle BMX or riding a bicycle is the freedom of it. Like no one tell you what to do. They don't tell me how to ride your bike. And at the time, like all my friends rode bicycles. So I wanted to hang out with my friends and ride bicycles, and it's pretty cool. You know, just the freedom of it and just the things I saw my friend did on a bicycle made me fall in love with like doing it. And also I use it like a stress reliever for me. Like if me and my mom would get into an argument, I'll get on my bike and go like for a long ride. Or if I'm not feeling like myself, I would get on my bicycle and go for a long ride. And you know, that kind of stuff like made me fall in love with riding. So I moved to New York in 2009. Basically my dad sent for me from Barbados. Like my dad was living here for like almost like 20 years and I was living back home with my mom in Barbados and my other siblings. So my dad just like, oh, I want my son, he told my mother, I want my son to come live with me. So, and that was that. So one of the first people I ran into in the bike community was this dude named Benji. He and his brother, it was like at the Brooklyn Museum. I was like out there riding, well not riding, I was just like exploring on my bicycle because like I'm new to New York and I even know how I end up at the Brooklyn Museum. I was just riding. I live like 30 minutes away from that. And I was just out there riding and like I saw Benji and his brother out there riding and like those like the first two people like I come in contact with like in the bike community in New York City. So my first interaction with Tyrone Williams was like at LES. We were riding the skate park. I don't know if we were riding together or he just happened to pass by or whatnot, but we just started chopping it up and like he offered me a job like to be an intern at the shop, to be a bike mechanic. And that's how everything got started with like me and him. I started working at the shop as a bike mechanic intern for like a couple of months and then a couple of years. And then it's like, you know, I started also riding for the shop as a, you can say athlete or representing the shop as a BMX rider. And then like, you know, everything started to fall into place from there. Then it's like, that's how I started riding with Tyrone. So how that whole Pharrell Williams red carpet gig came about, I think at the time Nigel Sylvester invited Tyrone Williams and he also needed a whole bunch of other BMXers, and Tyrone Williams invited me to be a part of that. And it was like probably like the best day that I ever had on my bicycle. That's how that whole gig came about. I think for BMX at the time, that night was very big for BMX. Like I don't think, other than X Games or like that's the first time like BMX was seen on such a big platform. You know, it was like BET, like red carpet. That was like a big moment for BMX. Like that was like a huge platform. So I think it was pretty great for BMX. For me personally, experience, it was great. I got to meet Pharrell Williams. It's like, it will always be like a very special and favorite moment to me, because still like to this day, every time I ride down that street or I pass the Barclays Center, I just stop and like think about that moment. You know, I want to have that moment live on forever with me. It's like, it was a great feeling. So I still get like, you know, that was dope when I ride on that street. So yeah, I was sponsored by the shop, Ethic, Sunday Bikes, Animal Bikes. Those sponsorships just kind of like fade away, they didn't really work out. And now I'm representing Fitbikeco. So the Fitbikeco sponsorship came through Messeroll bike shop. again, I think he reached out to them or they reached out to him. Not too sure how that go, but it came through Messeroll Bike Shop. And I think personally too, it came through all the hard work I've been putting out on Instagram, like, you know, all my crazy like tie rides and gap to tie rides and stuff like that. I think a little bit of both had something to do with me being a part of like this bike company.
What's up, Markus?
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
Chilling. How are you?
Got something for you, dog.
Yeah.
How did I felt at a moment? I was happy, I was excited, I was a little overwhelmed, I was joyful, like, you know, I was just like, this bike is super responsive, I like it. I'm still getting used to it because it's way shorter than my previous setup, but it makes all my tricks pretty easy. I don't want to sound too crazy saying that, but it makes most of my tricks that I love doing like easy to do. So yeah, I love the bicycle, man. The setup is pretty amazing. It's dialed. Yeah, shout out to Fitbikeco for the bicycle, man. I love the setup. Thank you. So the Fitbikeco Philly trip was pretty dope. Everyone on the team was pretty chill. I think like for the first week, I think the whole AND team was there. Max, John, Mikey, Nick showed up like a day before I had to leave. But all those dudes are pretty chill. And I'm looking forward to like going on more trips with like Fitbikeco. So my future goals for Fitbikeco is to, right now, goals is like to work on a web edit. You know, just inspire more kids to ride bicycles, have fun on bicycles. Yeah. Shout out to Messeroll Bike Shops, shout out to Fitbikeco, shout out to everyone that's supporting me on Instagram, all the liking and commenting and all that good stuff. And yeah, big shout out to Fitbikeco for sending me this dope ass bike. I love the setup, it's super dialed, and I just can't wait to get working and creating more cool stuff for you guys to view. Stay tuned. Peace. Thank you once again.